I'm telling you, as a new writer, these are the companies you want to work for. What's up, guys? My name is Tom Scalisi, and I'm a professional freelance writer, blogger, and content creator. I've written thousands of articles, blog posts, and web pages, so it's safe to say that I know a thing or two about writing online. I started this channel because I kind of wanted to share my knowledge and experience with anybody who was considering making a living writing online or even just some extra money. Earlier this week, I took a really hard shot at Upwork and Fiverr and told new writers to stay the hell away from them. And I do agree with that, but it's not really the platform's fault, so I just want to be fair. Really, it's an issue of the people hiring writers off of the platforms. The argument that I made was that the people on these sites pay like shit. And that's okay, because there's a lot of really great companies that don't pay a whole lot, and their whole goal is just to hire new writers to make as much money on each article as possible. The issue is that these people on Upwork and Fiverr aren't bringing any real value for their low pay. So they're not paying a lot, but they're also not giving new writers a whole lot of value, and that's where I take exception. They aren't teaching you anything. In this video, what I want to do instead is I want to break down the companies that you should work for when you're a brand new writer. I'll talk about who they are and how to find them. Let's get into it. People aren't reading magazines like they used to. That's true. But what they are doing is they are checking out articles, blog posts, and editorials published on the sites that used to run those magazines. Websites like GQ, Car and Driver, Better Homes and Gardens, and This Old House are still killing it in search traffic and making tons of money every single month. Now, I don't know if you know this, because I didn't when I first started, but the majority of those magazines and those companies and now these websites are owned by the same media companies. So I did some quick research, and I have a list in front of me of websites and the media companies that actually own them. You're gonna hear the same names repeat a bunch of times. So I broke this down by topic. So if you wanna write about travel, think about Travel and Leisure. That's run by Dotdash Meredith. You wanna go to Condé Nast Traveler, obviously that's Condé Nast. Donut Media, that's run by Recurrent. The Drive, also run by Recurrent. Road and Track, Hearst. Car and Driver, Hearst. So if we want to do some pop culture stuff, Billboard, Penske Media. Spy, Penske Media. DIY stuff, Bob Vila, Recurrent. What I'm saying is that these media companies own a ton of magazine names and websites. And I actually work for several of them, or have at least worked for them in the past. And I'm telling you, they're not a bad place to start. Let me explain why. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why should you work for a massive media company? You're just a number or another freelancer that they can replace. But I'm going to tell you, I'll give you 3 good reasons why right now, and it's going to make sense. Check this out. First off, when you work for these companies as a new writer, they always provide briefs. And briefs are incredibly important to a new writer. They make sure that you're going to cover all of the information that you need to cover, and they'll even include the headings for every single topic that you need to include. And here's why this is key. You won't have to guess about what your client wants you to write about. It's all written right there in the brief. It's like they're giving you the destination and the map to get there. You won't have to kick an article back multiple times before you even start to hone in on what the client really wants from you. It's all there on paper right away. And eventually, when you're putting your own briefs together for your own blog posts or for other freelance clients, you'll know exactly how to do it. And then reason number 2, these media companies hire the best SEO people in the world. These teams know how to work with algorithms, how to use keyword research and keyword research tools, and implement all of the important parts of an article into it. That'll be in your brief, but it's supplied by the SEO team. They know which terms to use, how to use them, how to structure the article, and how to rank on whatever search engine they're targeting. Once you start to work for these media companies, you're going to start to learn some of this SEO stuff by osmosis. You're going to start to understand where to implement keywords, what components of a blog post need to be in there for the different types of blog posts that you might be writing. And this is just stuff that you're getting paid to learn. And no, you're not going to be an expert, but you're going to learn from teams of experts as they show you how it's done. All right, third, and I can't stress this enough. When you work for those big companies, you're going to work with real editors, and it matters. When you work for like an Upwork or Fiverr client and they have to edit your article to maybe sound a little bit more like their brand voice, you stand a pretty good chance of them like spelling words wrong, making typos, changing what you meant, and really just ruining your work. They're not real editors and they have no idea what they're doing. Instead, with these actual media companies, you're going to work with real editors. These editors, their entire job is to just make your article better. And sometimes writers don't give editors their credit, but they really are a huge part of making a great article. They will make sure that what you're saying is clear. They'll cut up sentences that are too long. They'll remove copy that doesn't need to be there. And if you make any errors, they're going to catch them because they're actual professionals. And when you receive their edits back, it's like a learning experience because they're going to go ahead and give you edits that align the article more with the brand voice. So in the future, when you send an article in, there'll be fewer and fewer edits. Sure, there are some editors that are absolute pains in the asses, but for the most part, they're great people and they're going to help you learn how to hone your craft even faster. Now, the truth is that a lot of these companies aren't going to pay a whole lot more than Upwork and Fiverr, but they bring so much value and they help you become a better writer faster. And the other thing is that a lot of the time they have a lot of articles in their backlog, so you can create quite a portfolio in not a lot of time at all. Okay, so where do you find these companies? Now, recognize that I'm giving you advice that could potentially empower you to take my job. So realize that this is just value I'm trying to bring. So if you can, hit the like button and the subscribe, and let's keep going. All right, I find that there are 3 primary places to find these media companies online. One of them is not going to be a surprise. The other 2, maybe if you're new to writing, maybe you don't really know them yet. All right, the first one we're going to talk about is ProBlogger. When I was new, I checked ProBlogger multiple times a day, every day. It's basically a live list of job posts, so it can update at any time. And it's not as popular as it was when I first started, but it still gets a few job postings every week, and it's definitely someplace you should check. If nothing else, you'll probably find some small to medium-sized media companies there, and those are also a great place to start. The second option to finding these jobs is freelancewritinggigs.com. I love this site. It's basically a conglomeration, that's a big word, of a bunch of different job posts from several different websites, and it's updated every day. So every day it'll just put a list of the hottest or the most appealing sounding writing jobs on the internet. They're usually broken down by topic, so you can check really quickly to see if there's anything in your wheelhouse, and that way you don't miss anything on a site that you might not normally be checking. The other thing is, if you're just getting on freelance writing gigs for the first time, make sure you go back a few days because they don't always put the same job postings in the next day. So you definitely want to cycle through the previous 4 or 5 days to see what else was out there. All right, this is the third one, and it's the most obvious, but it really is the best. You really need to be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best place to find these media companies. You can set alerts for freelance writer and receive multiple emails a day anytime any new freelance writing jobs come up. And this is where most of these media companies post them. And here's the other thing I'm going to tell you about LinkedIn. What you should do on LinkedIn, even if you can't find job postings from the media companies that you want to work for, is you should find the editors that work for those media companies and at least follow them. You can try to connect with them, but who knows whether or not they're going to connect. But you should at least follow them because a lot of the time these editors are the people doing the hiring. And when a job posting comes up, they'll post it on their personal page, and if you're following them, you'll get that update and you'll know before your competition that there's a job posting at the media company or magazine that you really want to work for. So when you're on these sites, look for the magazine name and do a little research. You might find a company that you didn't know was associated with one of these big media companies, and it could be worth it for you to put in an application to get your foot in the door. A lot of the time, they'll allow writers to bounce between companies underneath that one big media company. So if you were working for Field and Stream, they may allow you to work for Outdoor Life a time or two and kind of get your foot in the door with both magazines. So when should you go back to Upwork and Fiverr, right? So that's a good question. You know, you can go back to Upwork and Fiverr pretty early on, but you need to spend at least a few months working for one of these big media companies, because once you do, you'll have the experience that you need to ask these clients on Fiverr exactly what you need to know to write them the article that they're looking for. You'll have a better idea of the questions to ask. You'll be able to request that they put a brief together for you, or you can put together a brief really quickly and send it over and say, hey, is this what you want? At that point, you'll be able to work faster with fewer rounds of kickbacks for editing, and that allows you to make more money per hour, and really that's what this is all about. I mean, even for these companies that are paying 3 or 5 cents a word, if it's in your wheelhouse and you're really good now at writing, you can make $100 an hour writing these articles if it doesn't take you a lot of research and you know exactly what your client is looking for. So that's it, guys. If you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button below. Also, if you like this kind of content, do me another favor and hit the subscribe button. I'll be making more of these types of videos. It just felt like it was the right time to make this video because I did smash Upwork and Fiverr pretty hard earlier in the week, and I just wanted to give you guys a kind of an alternative to those sites so you can get working as quickly as possible. Also, do me a favor, say hi in the comments. It's getting lonely out here in cyberspace. Let me know you're out there. All right, guys, take care.